So we had the Dome open on Friday. It was a very good meet. It's a low-key event for us by design. We're 1 week out from the conference championships. The kids that are ready, I like to rest them that weekend. The kids that are on the mend for one reason or another, they'll compete to get better. And then we have a handful of kids that are making one final claim at one of our roster spots. But it was a good meet. We clearly are in peak form, personal bests all across the board in most of our events. So we were very pleased with it. Some of the highlights, Kelsey Sukhavati, who last week at Iowa State threw over 50 feet for the first time. She did it 2 more times. Set another personal best in the shot. She also set a personal best in the weight throw. So she's clearly ready. Jordan Williams set a big PR by, she's about 4 feet, I think, in the weight throw. Suddenly put him right in the middle of the scoring position in the conference. So he is ready. And Matt Schiffer had a big PR in the weight as well, threw over 18 meters for the first time, big PR. So those guys always are ready, and clearly they're ready right now. The jumps, we had some excitement with the women's pole vault. Libby Torresani has had a fantastic indoor season. She's our sophomore, and she just has been setting PRs almost every week. So she set 2 personal bests on Friday night and took 3 really good shots at the school record set by Jenna last year. So she's been doing fantastic. She's also now leading the conference. So this is a girl who had a very uneventful freshman year, who's now as a sophomore is leading the conference. It's a good story, and she's a terrific kid. She's really working hard. The Tommies, Tommy Larson, Tommy Yackel, both did well again in the high jump, so they're coming on right when we need them, and they're right in the thick of things as far as what the conference scoring is starting to look like in that event. In the sprints, we had Carlos Anderson competed unattached, but he will be competing for the Panthers this weekend, and he did very well, kind of ho-hummed his way through one of the second fastest time in the conference, and made it look easy. He's definitely ready. Derek Kramer ran another seasonal best, second fastest time of his career. So we got 2 guys that are both going to be in the mix for winning the whole thing in the 60, which is what we expect in that event. Lindsay Gerke set 2 personal bests in the 60 meters and the 60 hurdles, so she's coming on. She's been doing a great job this indoor season. She's healthy, and she looks very strong. And Maddie Beeler, our freshman, she won the 400 meters just off of her seasonal best, but looked very strong, and so we're excited about where she's sitting right now. In the hurdles, Sebastian Barth has been very consistent. He won fairly easily in second fastest time of his indoor season, so we feel good about where he's sitting. And then finally, Scotty Schoen in the 800 meters, big PR. This was just a fun speed event for her, but she finds herself right in the middle of the conference scoring right now based on her ranking in that event. So the kids all look good. We had a lot more PRs than what I just listed, but as far as the kids that look like they're in a position to score, that's what we had going on. So we are once again cautiously optimistic. It's going to be a very fun, competitive conference championships. We just put together our rosters this morning, staff did, and feel good about the teams that we're going to be staging. As far as where we sit within the conference, I think Indiana State is probably the team to beat on both sides for the men and the women. They're very strong. Wichita has also got some very good men's and women's team. Southern looks good. Missouri State last year surprised everybody. They went from the bottom of the pack to winning the whole thing on the women's side in 1 year. And they also look strong. So it's going to be a fun, competitive meet once again. I feel good about where the Panthers are sitting, and I think when you look at the descending order list, it's very close. There's very few kids that are dominating their event, and so a lot can happen. A team that gets hot, team that gets some momentum could run away with the meet, which is one of the reasons why I love the Missouri Valley Conference Championships. Are there any questions?
Have you kind of coached this, or they be building to this point? I mean, to get some PRs indoor to this.
I didn't hear the beginning of that question.
Were you coaching so that
Oh.
they would build to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's the indoor season is very fast, but every weekend matters, every meet matters, and the whole season, the kids know from the very beginning we are building toward the conference championships. You're going to be peaking. We try to hit our peak in the middle of February around the big meet that we had at Iowa State, and then we'll be able to hold the meet 3-4 weeks right through the conference championship. So we fully expect all the kids to be setting personal bests or be pretty close to it at this part of the season.
Dan, what can you tell me about Ethan Miller, how he happened to come here, and what he means to your team right now?
Yeah, well, Ethan's a very important guy to us. We only have him this indoor season. He competed at Central over in Pella for 4 years and did a terrific job there. He had an indoor season left of eligibility that we were unaware of. Guy Mosier, who's now on our staff, left Central and was moved here, and Ethan is going to be, I think, a very good post-collegiate athlete. So he was going to be coming into town to train as a post-collegiate. We found out he had an indoor season left of eligibility that he wasn't going to be using, and he expressed some interest. We followed up on it. Next thing you know, he's one of the best kids in the country and leading the conference in the heptathlon. And he could score, geez, the guy could score in probably 5 or 6 events. We're still trying to figure out what to put him in, though.
Well, we've seen multi-eventers that are out of this state that have gone to smaller schools, Bruce Jenner, Kim Jenner.
Yep.
I mean, does he have that kind of potential?
He really does. He really does. He's one of the most talented athletes I've ever worked with. He's very, very raw. Guy Mosier did an amazing job developing him, and he still has a long way to go. But I coached and developed Ashton Eaton, and I see a lot of similarities. No, he's not Ashton Eaton, and I'm not telling you he's going to win a gold medal or set a world record. However, the way a kid is wired and the way the kid moves, he's going to be an exciting kid, and he certainly has Olympic potential. He just needs to keep doing the right things and stay focused and avoid all of the pitfalls that await a post-collegiate athlete.
They would still have track in the Olympics at that point, right?
I think he's probably a couple years. Actually, well, no, he should have a good post-collegiate season this outdoor season in the decathlon. But I'd say he's a couple seasons away from being a major player at any major championship.
You touched on Libby before. Why she made that next step, you think, to
That's a good question. You don't always know what gets a kid excited and lights that fire. A lot of freshmen struggle, and she was one of them. She worked hard, but when she came back this fall from having the summer off, she was a different kid mentally. I mean, she was into practice. She showed up prepared, and coaches saw it right away. I mean, she took what she was doing very, very seriously, and it was, I talked to her probably the first couple weeks of training, telling her how impressed I was and that she should expect some really big things because she's got the tools, but it's one of the most technical events, maybe the most technical event in track, and it takes a lot more than tools. You've got to be truly dedicated to it. And she's become a real student of the event, and she's approaching it much more like a veteran. She's going to be much better than what she's shown. I mean, she's going to continue to get better and better, and I think we're going to really enjoy watching the rest of her career. She's going to have a lot of impact on our women's program going forward.
How many teams you got coming in?
There's 6 for the men and 9 for the women. So it'll be a good meet. The meet starts Saturday morning. 9:30 is the pentathlon, the women's multis. 10 o'clock is the men's heptathlon, and then the regular meet will start at 1 o'clock, 1:15 for the field events, 3 p.m. for the running events, and that'll conclude Sunday afternoon. So if you get a chance to come out, these are the most exciting meets I've ever experienced. I was in the Pac-10 for many, many years, and one of the first things I noticed when I got here to Conference Championships, these are the most fun. These are a lot more fun than I ever had in the Pac-10 championship. All the teams are into it. All the kids are into it. This is really track and field at its best. Thanks. Go Panthers.